This tutorial will cover adding staff information, user accounts, and student information. These functions can be found under Configure for your school. Click that to open it. We have Add Staff and User Accounts, Edit User Accounts, Edit Staff, Edit Students, Add a Student to Testing Manager. There is a difference between staff members and user accounts. Staff members lists the members of your staff, including information like their email addresses and phone number. User accounts are for logging on to Testing Manager and EdClick's other products. User accounts are given certain permissions which allow the user to perform various functions in Testing Manager. Most staff members have user accounts. However, there may be some staff members who do not have user accounts. Similarly, there may be some people who have user accounts, such as consultants or the president of the PTO, who are not on your staff and so do not have staff information. That's why the staff information is kept separate from the user account information. Most staff members do have user accounts, so for convenience we have provided a page that will create staff information and user account information simultaneously for new staff members. Click Add Staff and User Accounts. This form will come up. We can put information about the staff members into the box in a format similar to that in the help box to the left. The staff member information is in the form of last name, comma, first name, comma, email address, comma, phone number, comma, position or title. The only required elements for staff member are last name and first name. You can add as many new staff members as you would like to the names box. Add them one per line. For example, we can add Adams, comma, John. If we don't know his email address or phone number, but we do know his position, we can add placeholders by adding commas, as with the email address and phone number, and follow that by the position. In addition to creating staff information, this form will also create the user account for each of the new staff members listed in the names box. For convenience, we create usernames that are in the same format as the name in the staff member's email address. For example, George Washington's email address has the name G. Washington. We click on the G. Washington username format, and all of the usernames of all of the new staff members will be set up in that form. The position box is the position that will be given to any staff members who do not have a position specified with their name. Next, we select a department. All staff members are assigned to a department. Create user accounts, click Yes. The checkboxes below represent various permissions that can be granted to a user account. On the left side of the page, there are typical sets of permissions for different types of users. For example, typical permissions for teachers include admin page, calendar, courses, photos, and staff. A shortcut to checking the permissions checkboxes for those permissions is to click the checkbox below Teachers. That checks all of the teachers' permissions. Now click Submit. The system creates staff records for all of the new staff members in the names box at the top of the form, and it creates user accounts with the specified positions. Now if we go back to Testing Manager and click on Edit Staff, we find John Adams as a new staff member and George Washington as a new staff member. We can click on Edit across from the staff member's name and modify his or her information. We can go back to the Testing Manager admin page and click on Edit Users. There we see his account information and his permissions. If John Adams is going to be the testing coordinator for the school, we would scroll down the list of permissions and give him testing admin permission by clicking the checkbox and saving changes. Similarly, members of the 504 committee, the ESL, ELL committee, and the Special Ed committee will be authorized to enter accommodations for the students with their designations. Give those staff members Testing Admin 504 or Testing Admin ESL or Testing Admin SPED as appropriate. The unrestricted permission down at the bottom of the list is the most powerful permission in the system. A user with unrestricted permission can change anything in the system, therefore you would want to be very sparing about the number of people granted unrestricted permission. We typically recommend granting unrestricted permission to only 1 or 2 users. Students. The easiest way to enter your student information is to send a student list to support@edclick.com and we will import the student list for you. We will be happy to update your student list as frequently as required. We will provide you with a template of an Excel file showing the form that the data should be provided in. You can also add or edit student information individually. To edit a student's information, click on Edit Students. Select the initial of the student's last name from the list, then click Edit across from his name. You can add a new student by clicking the Add a Student link on the Testing Manager admin page. There will be more detail about editing student information in the next tutorial. We also encourage you to associate student photos with the student information. You can add student photos yourself, but it is much more convenient for you to send a disk of all your student photos to EdClick and we will upload all the photos for you. We must have a way to associate the photo with a student ID. Ideally, the name of the photo file would include the student ID. That's it. That's how you enter and edit staff information, user account information, and student information. There will be a little more detail on editing student information in the next tutorial.